just like with a good photo filter, people aren't always what they seem. Hello, I'm Detective Inspector. Inspector's my surname. That's always been a bit awkward. And I'm a detective. I'm here to talk to you about fraud. Now, you may have heard or seen the word fraud, but you know exactly what it means. And no, it's not cold in French. Fraud is when someone pretends to be you and steals your money, or persuades you to give them your money by lying to you about who they are, which is sometimes known as a scam. But it doesn't take a master detective like me to spot the signs once you know. So today, we're going to learn about protecting yourself from fraudsters, how to spot a fraudster, and money mules. But first, let me ask you an important question. Where's the best place to keep your money? Is it under your mattress, in a bank account, or in your trainers? Do you know which one? That's right. Because while it can be handy to keep some spare cash in your shoe, the best place to keep your money is in a bank account. Because there are protections in place to stop fraudsters from stealing it. But once you've got a bank account, watch out. Because fraudsters can pretend to be your bank and fish for bits of information about you. They might do this over email, which is known as phishing, or via SMS text, which is known as smishing, or they might do it over the phone, which is known as vishing with a V, because they use their voice. For example, can you guess how much money fraudsters in the UK attempted to steal in 2019? Tell you what, I'll give you a choice. See if you can guess. Was it £1.8 million, £3.8 million, £380 million, or £3 billion? Well, the answer is £3 billion. Yes, criminals attempted to steal £3 billion through fraud last year. They actually got away with stealing £1.2 billion. That's around 4 million game consoles worth of fraud in a year. There are ways to catch these crooks out, though. So let's make like detectives, split up and look for clues. Here's an email from a fraudster. Have a look at this email, which says it's from a bank, and see if you can find anything suspicious. Can you see anything? How about I give you 20 seconds to find some clues? Okay, did you spot any clues? First clue is whether they know your name. This one just says, Dear Customer. Your bank will always know who you are, so that's a bit of a giveaway. Then, hold on, what's this? That doesn't look right to me. Spelling mistakes. It's very unlikely that an official email from your bank will have spelling mistakes, so look out for those, and any bad grammar, or unusual fonts. Did you see any of them? This has got my detective senses tingling. There has been a slight mistake. Either there's been a mistake or there hasn't. Oh, and top detective tip. Make sure you hover over the sender's address with your cursor. That'll show their email address, which could well be dodgy. Plus, there's a link in the email. Make sure you don't click on that, or it could direct you to a dangerous website, or even allow the bad guys access to your computer. How did you do? Spot any of those? I bet you will in future. Okay, let's get an idea of just how big this is. How often do you think fraud was committed in the UK in 2019? Every 11 seconds? Every 31 seconds? Every 11 minutes? Every 31 minutes? Which one do you reckon? Any ideas? It's actually every 11 seconds. Well, every 10.82 seconds to be precise. That's 7,985 acts of fraud every day. Or 27 acts of fraud in the 5 minutes since this video began. So, we've got to be careful. The bad guys are smart, but we have to be smarter. Oh, and here's another top tip. Always keep your personal details, well, personal. Oh, sorry, excuse me. Hello? Oh, it's my bank. You want my 4-digit PIN? No bank would ever ask you for your PIN. That's just for you. I'm not giving him that. You want to know the details on my card? No bank would ever ask you for that, or for access to your bank accounts or cheques. You want to know the code my bank just texted me and my password? This guy, no way. No, I won't transfer money to a safe account. What I will do is hang up. Asking you to transfer money? No bank would ever do that. It's clear what's going on here. I thought so. So, let's recap. Your bank will never ask you to give them your 4-digit PIN code, access to bank cards, checkbooks or cash, online banking codes or passwords, or to transfer money to a different account. OK, we've got these fraudsters on the run. But it's not just your bank details you need to be careful about, because there's all sorts of sensitive information they might try to use, and all sorts of ways they might try to get it. Have you ever done one of those online quizzes? You know the ones I mean? What type of bread are you or whatever? I know they can be fun, but if they start asking for your date of birth, favourite football team, favourite colour, the sort of things you might use in your passwords, watch out. It may not seem like it, but they might be fishing for information that will help them get into your bank account. Now, I'm not saying don't do any online quizzes. Just make sure you trust who the quiz is by. OK, here's another question for you. A stranger asks you to pass on some money to a friend of his and tells you that if you do, you can keep a bit for yourself. Would you say no and get out of there quickly? Say no and report him to an adult or the police? Say yes and pass all of the money on so you don't annoy him? Say yes, take some of the money and buy yourself something nice. I'll give you 10 seconds to think about it. Did you say no? I hope so. The best thing is to say no and then report them to an adult or the police. If you said yes, then you would have become what's known as a money mule, which could get you into a lot of trouble. Some fraudsters will try and trick you into becoming a money mule online, asking you to put some money in your account and then transfer it on, keeping a bit for yourself. But take it from me, those mules never end up happy. Do you know what might happen to a money mule if they got caught? That's right, they could end up with a criminal record, which could mean not being allowed a bank account, or a mobile phone, or being able to get a loan in the future for the house of your dreams. Remember, if an offer sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Sometimes the bad guys will try and tempt you with cash, but they may be a little meaner. So just remember, if someone's harassing you online, trying to get you to do something you don't want to do, don't reply. Just block and report them and go and tell an adult immediately. So that's pretty much it. It may sound a little bit scary, but it really is easy once you know the tricks of the trade. So just to make sure you've understood, here are some questions. You ready? Question 1. A friend at school asks you to give them your PIN. What do you do? What do you think? They're your friend. You trust them. But no, you shouldn't give your PIN out to anyone, not even your best mate. Well done if you got that right. Question 2. You get a message from someone on social media asking you to keep some money safe for them. What do you do? They're even saying you can keep a bit for yourself. Sounds like a good offer. You're going to say yes? Well, the answer is no. Don't respond. Just report and block them and go and tell an adult immediately. Did you get that right? Question 3. Your bank asks you for details over email. What should you do? I mean, it's from your bank. You should probably reply, no? No. Your bank will never ask you for details over email. That'll be one of the bad guys. OK, last one. You're doing an online quiz to predict whether you'll be famous or not. And the question is, what's your date of birth? What'd you do? Did you tell them? Did you decide not to? That's correct. I'll be very careful about who you give out your date of birth to. Fraudsters would love to know that kind of information. And not because they want to get you a pair of trainers for your birthday. Okay, congratulations if you got them all right. It just goes to show, when it comes to spotting fraud, you don't need to be a genius to spot the clues. Just remember, if something doesn't feel right, or if someone's rushing you into doing something, just stop and tell an adult. Oh, and if the offer sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Right, that's it from me. Well done for working so hard today. I'm off to crack my next big case, which one of my flatmates keeps using all my milk from the fridge. Bye.